guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back, guys. We are back. Happy Monday. Hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend. Hope you're staying cool. Come on in, guys. Like my title says today. First of all, before I even get to that, guys, come on in. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. Now, today is obviously going to be a controversial topic, and I titled it, I Investigated Charlie Kirk's Agenda, and here's what I found. All right, so first, thank you, Synth, my favorite mod. Be nice or you'll get the chancla of justice. And Connie, shout out to my girl for becoming a member. Thank you. Apologize for not seeing you in other chats. Chats have been crazy and flying. But today I want to come on and be humble about what I found and let you know that the agenda that Charlie Kirk has been pushing since the beginning of time, the beginning of his career, is a very dangerous agenda. And when you're pushing an agenda like that, and you'll see what I'm going to back everything up. I'm also going to talk about our people, and Charlie made it very clear that he wasn't pushing hate. However, many of the topics that he was pushing did turn into other people hating. And then today, where we are, Tyler Robinson, and breaking news just came out just a moment ago saying that he, in fact, did confess. Tyler Robinson did confess. And we're going to talk about that. So everything we know today, we know about Charlie Kirk. We're going to listen to some of his best debates. We're going to listen to some of his last conversations that he had. And as you know, what his last words was him talking about gun control and guns. And his last words were, does that count about the gang violence? Something like that. I have it written down here somewhere, of course, everywhere. I got a ton of notes. There's so many things. Beth, thank you for becoming a member for 11 months. Shout out to everybody in here. Hello, Shadow. All opinions are welcome today, but please, please, please don't fight with people. Now, we're not victim blaming him. I already knew there are going to be certain people in here that had certain things to say, and there are people that have certain agendas to follow. I'm absolutely not blaming the victim, although I'm going to say that this is the fault of, first and foremost, this is the fault of the university for not having enough security and admitting that their security was way too lax. When you're pushing a narrative that says gay people are, something's mentally wrong with people that are gay, they have mental issues, including transgender being mental issues, and you start to get into that, you're going to push hate. If I was to come on here right now and tell you, okay, first of all, I am Charlie Kirk. I may be far from what he thinks, but I'm up here preaching to you about my thoughts, my ideals, and where I stand. And as everybody knows, I am not transgender, but I am gay. I've been called transphobic from time to time, which I am not. But I don't think that agenda was being pushed at the time of what happened, but I think it's being pushed now, and we're getting people on the left saying that he was a conservative. Tyler was conservative, and it's clearly not. He clearly was not conservative when he's dating. And this is not me saying my opinion. I have article after article backing up Lance Twig being his roommate and his partner and them making out, etc. So again, this is in my opinion, and it's called I Investigated Charlie Kirk's Agenda, and here's what I found. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you California, people of California in power of politics still are on the side of Charlie Kirk, and you do not take somebody's life for their beliefs. However, you also cannot have a relaxed security when you're saying something like this to the youth, particularly the youth, because youth gets a hold of guns, and youth, they don't have their minds together all the way. There's a lot of things, and I'm going to show you so that you can't say, Jay, you're being this, or Jay, no, because I'm on both sides. I am absolutely for the First and Second Amendment, and I do not want to lose my amendment rights because of what happened today, or I'm sorry, what happened on the 10th of September. All right, so I still want to have my First Amendment rights, freedom of expression, just like Charlie did, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, right to assemble, and right to petition the government. I also don't want to lose my Second Amendment right to bear arms. All right, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. All right, this has been interpreted to mean individuals have the right to own firearms for lawful purposes, such as self-defense. I am on that side. The government may regulate certain types of weapons or ownership, but cannot ban gun ownership outright. And Charlie's last words had something to do with that, which what was his discussion. So there's going to be a lot of things today, and one thing I can absolutely say is when you're pushing a dangerous, I'm being dangerous right now. I'm pushing a dangerous narrative, and someone might want to shoot me. Do I want to be shot because you guys don't like that I'm gay and that I'm not sitting there saying, oh, those poor trans people? No, I'm in the middle of this. I'm caught in the middle because I'm gay, and hashtag I'm Charlie Kirk as well. I push narratives that you guys aren't going to like, but do I want to be shot? Hell no, I don't want to be shot. All right. So hashtag I am Charlie Kirk. You're Charlie Kirk if you want freedom of speech, if you want right to bear arms. It doesn't matter if you're right or left or extreme right or extreme left. You don't kill people. And it shouldn't be a dangerous narrative, but the whole point of our current situation is, and I'm going to show you why it's a dangerous narrative. When you're speaking to youths that have had firearms since they're 12 years old, that's a dangerous narrative to be preaching to youths with no security. That's what I'm saying. All right. What's up, Michelle Murdoch? Good to see you. Shy Turtle, Witch. I'm going to give you everything today. All right. I mean, I could be doing a 5-hour episode because this is wild. You don't kill people because you don't like their beliefs. But then again, when you get a person like Tyler Robinson that confessed to a Discord group and he doesn't realize if he's gay, if he's dating a transgender, what does that mean? I'll tell you right now, it's scary and confusing to think about the possibility of being gay in America, even in this day and age. It's scary. So this guy was this Tyler Robinson guy was pushing a narrative outwardly as being trans and homophobic. But some of the most trans and homophobic people are actually homos. They're actually gay. All right. But it's better to just say that, you know what? I'm gay, but I don't push this narrative. Now, this guy, in my opinion, is completely confused. All right. I remember coming out as being gay 25 years ago, and it was scary, and my father disowned me. And even to this day, I don't fit in with the LGBTQ plus AI times two, whatever, but I am part of that community. All right. And I'm telling you, I'm not pushing their narrative, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's scary to be gay. It's scary to come out as being gay, and it's scary to be thinking that you might be gay because you're dating a trans person. Now, just hours ago, Charlie Kirk confessed allegedly in a group chat. I've got the video also to back that up at 5 o'clock, which it's over there. It's 8 o'clock your time. All right. Listen, Charlie Kirk's alleged killer appears to have confessed to friends in an online chat. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. A message from the account purportedly belonging to Tyler Robinson on instant messaging in the Discord platform says, it was me at the UVU yesterday, and I'm sorry for all of this. The message went on to say, I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've been so amazing. Charlie Kirk's accused killer to be federally charged. Yes, they want to charge him federally and anybody else that knew about it. Now, Robinson, 22 of Washington, Utah, was arrested about 2 hours after the message was sent. Tyler Robinson court appearance. He's going to appear again tomorrow. The alleged gunman was arrested on suspicion of aggravated felony discharge of a firearm causing bodily harm, serious bodily harm, and obstruction of justice. All felonies, a judge ordered that to be held without bail. He's expected to be in court for the first time tomorrow. Now, Robinson mentioned Kirk's upcoming visit to Utah Valley University. And this is why I say this is such a dangerous narrative when you're going to a college of young people, especially that have access to weapons. All right. So I know I kind of jumped in to this. Many of you guys already know what I'm talking about and what's going on. So the left side is trying to say he was on the right, and the right side is trying to say he's on the left. I think Tyler Robinson was on the side of Tyler Robinson, and he was scared. He was afraid. He pretended to be transphobic while dating a trans. All right. Now, he told people that Charlie Kirk was going to be 3.5 hours away from his home at dinner before the shooting, kicking off a conversation about how he didn't like Kirk's viewpoints. His family told authorities. Now, a full picture of the political leaning is still emerging. We don't know. Utah state records show he's registered to vote, but is not affiliated with the political party and is listed as inactive, meaning he didn't vote in the two most recent general elections. All right. Lawmakers cancel public events and push for security funding, which is what we need to do. Okay. Now, Robinson had two younger brothers, and his parents had been married for 25 years, according to social media. Posts by Robinson's mother reflect an active family with vacations to Disneyland, Hawaii, the Caribbean, and Alaska. They frequently spend time outdoors, boating, fishing, riding ATVs, zip lining, and target shooting. All right. It seems like normal people. Why would this guy from a normal place do this? All right. Now let's get into what even happened. All right. Let's get into what in the freaking heck happened. And I am going to show you what his wife said, which is going to make it even. I want the people that if there's a side that you take or that somebody takes, I want you guys to understand that now this side is going to be very extreme, and it sucks because now we're going to have more people pushing the agenda that gays and trans and that we're mentally ill and we're going to shoot everybody up. All right, so let's take a look real quick. Accused Charlie Kirk gunman confesses in an online chat, and then I'm going to get into a few minutes of what his wife is calling for. She's calling for doubling down. Now we're going to have 10 Charlie Kirks. You guys didn't like one, now we get 10 of them, and she makes that clear.
All right, breaking right now, reports of a confession posted on Discord from Charlie Kirk's suspected assassin hours before, after the murder, but hours before his father turned him in to authorities in Utah. This is Washington Post reporting on this at this point. Justice correspondent David Spunt joining me now live from Washington. Hi, David. What can you tell us?
Hi, Martha. About 2 hours before he was turned into authorities, this according to the Washington Post. We are working to independently confirm this as well, but the Washington Post says that Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old suspect charged in Charlie Kirk's murder, confessed. And I want to read this according to the Washington Post, writing on Discord, that social media chat group that the FBI says he used, quote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." This coming from...
I'm also going to get into the conspiracy theories. So, Chrissy, I got your back on that. However, I absolutely believe that the transgender shooter has absolutely nothing to do with this guy. So, although there's not coincidences, I don't believe in coincidences in true crime. I'm going to tell you that I do not think this is the transgender agenda to get rid of Trump and his people and the Republicans and the right and the far right. I absolutely think that's a conspiracy theory, and I'm going to go over those today. I absolutely will have to agree to disagree, and I do love a healthy debate, which is why hashtag I am Charlie Clerk. All right? Charlie Kirk, I'm sorry, because you know what? I could be preaching the exact same thing in a different narrative, and I don't deserve to be hurt or shunned, but I absolutely, in my own opinion, do not believe that that last shooting with the school shooting has anything to do with this. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now. I think Charlie Kirk was loved by many and hated by a few. All right, let's go.
The Washington Post. Now, this comes as DOJ officials began late last week and over the weekend looking at the potential for at least one federal charge. No guarantee they'll get there. A department spokesperson declined comment, but a source familiar said investigators are not ruling anything out at this time, especially his online gaming presence, his chats, as we just mentioned. Who was he talking to? What did...
Now, guys, when I get into this first article and second one, it's just bam, bam, bam. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was at all. I didn't know, but when I saw what he was saying, it just made me cackle a little bit. And when I read these headlines to you about how literally from his mouth that Charlie Kirk did say stoning gay people was the perfect law, and other heinous quotes about gays. He also talked about transgenders and said how they're mentally ill. I'm going to quote all of these things for you, and you might look at me and say, Jay, but you're gay and you have a family. How could you back that guy? How could you not say, screw him? You know, I just saw a bunch of people getting fired. I couldn't even keep up with how many people spoke out and got fired over this. I also just saw some rap or concert. I don't know if it was rap. He got banned because he said Charlie Kirk, F him and his pronouns. His pronouns were. And they started laughing because he talks about they, them. And he's like, something's wrong with these trans and these. I mean, he talks mad crap, but I'm still not mad at him because if he were alive, I would love to debate him. I would love to tell him why that's not the truth. But now I can't tell him that because he's not here. All right. Y'all don't realize how bad this is today. MLK, there were streets named after. I do realize how bad it is. And that's why I can't stay quiet.
He say? FBI Director Kash Patel said this earlier this morning. Watch.
He had a text message exchange, he, the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
This investigation is just begun. This isn't even the beginning of the beginning. You know, yes, we have a subject in custody. You know, everybody's innocent.
Now, I absolutely KPM are taking the headlines, and of course I'm cherry picking them because I investigated Charlie Kirk's agenda, and here's what I found. But I'm also going to play both sides of what I found, and his wife, and the heartbreak, and the children's heartbreak, and the entire nation that is heartbroken and was crying and has been crying and hasn't been able to watch this or discuss it. So I do know that the hurt that this has caused And that's what I'm here to talk about today. Foxy Amazon, thank you for the Guilty of Crime membership. If we can't talk about this, then what are we going to do? Just go around shooting people? No, that's not the answer.
Until proven guilty in our constitutional republic. However, this is not done by any stretch.
Patel also batting down criticism from some even on the right about his handling of the probe. He put out a social media post hours after Kirk died saying that there was a subject in custody only to be released, and he addressed that, saying that he could have worded it a little bit better. Today at the FBI, history was made when former Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey became the co-deputy director along with Dan Bongino. When we asked what this means, all parties involved on the record say this is a positive move for the Bureau, Martha.
Very interesting. Thank you very much, David Spunt.
All right, so they're gonna go Tyler Robinson, and rightfully so. Okay, he did that. He's causing uproar, and this is not good. But let me just share a few headlines of the things that I found, and the reason that I found these things and why they're cherry picked is because this man was just allegedly assassinated. And when you start to look back at what happened, then you understand why. Was referring to a specific religion when he was speaking about stoning. We're going to watch that right now. I'm going to read that right now for you. All right. So I absolutely believe he was a religious family man who loved God and his family. All right. I don't believe anything different than that, but I'm just telling you how somebody that has weapons is not right in their mind, is going through, maybe feeling like they're gay, maybe feeling like they're an outcast from their family because they're dating a trans. I don't think that this was a movement that the trans people started. I don't. All right. Charlie Kirk said stoning gay people was a perfect law. And then I'm going to go back to the wife and what a good family man he was. Charlie Kirk, the conservator podcaster who co-founded Turning Point USA, died after being shot while hosting one of his Prove Me Wrong debates in Utah. And he should be able to. Authorities said Friday that they had identified and arrested 22-year-old Tyler Robinson in relation to the shooting. Kirk, 31, rose to prominence in 2016 when Donald Trump was first running for president, frequently making media appearances to campaign for him. He's been credited for influencing young voters through his online content, primarily his debates, to back Trump in the 2024 election. Since his death, Kirk has been praised for how engaged in political debate, but his legacy is not one of honest discourse. Kirk built his brand by demonizing LGBTQ people and their minorities, frequently spreading disinformation about transgender people and gender-affirming care. Author Stephen King received backlash online and issued an apology after saying in a post to X, formerly Twitter, that Kirk advocated stoning gays to death. But King's claim wasn't wrong. Kirk did say that and so many other horrible things about the queer community. Here are some of his most heinous comments about LGBTQ people. They're not only hateful, they're plain incorrect. All right. Now, then I'm going to show you that in his own words, that he doesn't hate gays. All right. That he loves everybody. All right. And I'm not condoning anybody taking his life. I'll tell you that right now. All right. And people talking about furries. Oh my God. That's why I wanted to debunk some of this stuff. All right. He calls stoning gay people God's perfect law. However you want to package that, you can. Kirk invoked a Bible verse about stoning people to death, June 2024, on his podcast, called it God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters. Trans people are to blame for inflation. All right. Call to overturn hate crime convictions. I'm just reading some of the things, and yes, they're cherry picked. We should have took care of trans people, is what he said. I'd actually like to play this for a second. I don't know if they're going to put
these people are sick, and I don't say that lightly. The NCAA is a perverted organization. They platformed a biological male who won a national championship and then was allowed in incredibly disturbing detail to be around you and your fellow competitors. And again, I blame the decline of American men.
I'm not biased reading Supernova. I'm reading the articles that are here in front of me and using Charlie's own words. I'm also completely 110% against taking someone's life, whether they come to my face and tell me they hate me or not. I still don't believe that this should have happened, but this is his words right here. All right. These are him. This is his words, but I'm on his side and then I'm on his family's side, but I'm giving you what I found and what has led up to and transpired, in my opinion, and allegedly.
This never should have been, someone should have just took care of it the way we used to take care of things in the 1950s or 60s. But, as you have testosterone rates go down and men start acting like women and they don't do anything, then, hey, who's to say? You're going to look, there are a lot of sick people in the world, unfortunately.
All right. Now, you can't say this is out of context. And now, Wyatt, much love to you and Supernova. You just watch this. There's nothing out of context, and nobody in this chat would disagree. I mean, Clar, if you would come and say to me, if Clar, you are the most, probably one of the most political people that I know. If you were to tell me, or if you were to talk about trans people and Charlie and what his beliefs are, I'm sure you would set it straight with what his agenda is or was and how it's being laid down. And it's going to continue. Again, I'll show you something different. Charlie answers, does he hate LGBTQ? All right. There's no other context that this could be taken in. And I'm on Charlie's side and his family's side about this is completely wrong. And if we don't understand what's happening, we can't prevent it from happening again. Charlie answers, does he hate LGBTQIAS community?
It is Erica again. Hi, Charlie. So since meeting you,
we made friends earlier. She was homeless a year ago, and now she's thriving. How great is that? Isn't that?
Since meeting you a few short hours ago, I've already had numerous people remove me on Instagram and tell me they can.
See, so here's the problem. You're not letting me finish what I'm saying before saying he didn't, and bull crap. I'm going to call you out on that, Wyatt, because you didn't even let me show this before you denied it. This is him saying, I don't hate gays. This is me standing up for Charlie Kirk and saying, I am Charlie Kirk. You are Charlie Kirk. He did not preach hate. He preached love, and he preached from the Bible. He didn't just come up with anything and say whatever he wanted to. So please don't say no or dispel what I'm saying before you even listen to what I'm saying. You're not hearing me. I think that's the problem. People weren't hearing him correctly and they're taking it wrong. I'm telling you what he's saying from his mouth. He says he does not hate gays, and I'm showing you what he's saying.
Can no longer be my friends because I'm here at a free event learning both sides of the spectrum. Anyway, oh, and I also forgot to tell you my pronouns. I identify as Joe Biden. Live and let live. Everybody can live however they want. They can do whatever they want. And my question for you is, do you have any hate? And is Turning Point USA against the LGBT community? Because I'm being told that by coming here and listening to you speak that I'm either a racist or a fascist or against the LGBT. And isn't fascism?
And here's the thing, folks. This happens to me all the time. I am not trans. I'm gay, but do I back everything the LGBTQ plus AI, whatever? People call me transphobic. I'm stuck in that category where people think that I'm like, they call me names and they're like, oh, you're a fucking Trump supporter. How could you be gay and be a Trump supporter? So it just doesn't make sense. All right. So let's Nina Drew, thank you. It's a horrible situation of intolerance, but no one has the right to kill someone for their beliefs and for a healthy debate. Why can't we have a healthy debate without somebody getting upset or wanting to commit violence or saying, no, you're not right when I haven't even finished? And I'm just using that as an example. All right. I can be gay and still support Charlie and the beliefs that he has.
When someone doesn't agree with your beliefs and your views and they want it either your way or the highway.
Yeah, the people that defriended you on Instagram, they're the fascists. So I do not have hate for a group. I do not have hate for a people. I have
So
hate
just
for...
so I can get it on my camera. So
Don't worry, we
hi.
got plenty of cameras, but yeah.
But yes, so you do not hate the LGBT community,
No,
and Turning Point is not against LGBT.
No, how could I hate that which I have a heart for?
Thank you.
And I might not agree at that for some of the lifestyle choices that some people make, but of course not. And if someone...
And again, if I were debating him, this is not a hate speech. I would say respectfully so, Charlie. All right. It's not a lifestyle choice. We were born that way. Now you can't disagree with the way I feel or how I think. I've felt that way and think that way for a long, long time now. So I would say respectfully to him, I appreciate your opinion and I support you. However, I feel like you're incorrect in saying that I chose this lifestyle because that's not how I feel. All right. He might be bluffing. It doesn't matter what he might be doing. Nobody should have taken his life. All right. What does sex have to do with who you are? Well, that's what they're talking about right now. Nothing, but that's what they're talking about. And yes, he preached from the Bible. And what his wife said just left me heartbroken.
Someone said, Charlie, what's your view on marriage? I say, I believe marriage is between one man and one woman.
See,
but
I'm not mad.
If you ask me, what do I have hate in my heart for somebody that doesn't choose the lifestyle that I believe that God laid out in the scriptures? Of course not.
Yes, I was told that Turning Point USA is against LGBT.
Well, you could be told a lot of different things.
I know it's all both.
I rest my case. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Charlie.
All right, you guys see.
Tonight, new insight into murder suspect Tyler Robinson. Authorities telling NBC News the 22-year-old is now on a special watch status. And
I was just going to listen to this for a second. I'm trying to find his wife, and I want you guys to understand that I'm telling you what I investigated, what I found, and where we are. All right. So, if you ever looked into homosexuality and love for. Do we not live a democracy where we have we do, exactly. That's why you don't go around taking people's lives for what they believe. I think it's hard to understand if you have not really looked into if homosexuality is something. Listen, Wyatt, you cannot debate me on my sexuality. All right. So you cannot, I'm not gonna debate, and I would not debate with you or Charlie why I'm gay. All right. That is just not up for topic. I'm going to tell you how I feel and what my beliefs are and how I grew up. And then you can tell me what you think, but we can't debate why I feel like I'm gay. All right. And yes, many Christians feel that way. There's a lot of people that are Republican that feel that way. And that's why people don't believe me. They're like, you're unbelievable. How could you back them? No, I just don't back hate.
Under close supervision inside Utah County Jail.
The suspect has not been cooperating so far.
On Meet the Press, Utah's governor said Robinson's former roommate is helping investigators, adding the two were in a romantic relationship.
We can confirm that roommate is a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. I will say that person has been very cooperative with authorities.
The governor adding the roommate had no idea Robinson was planning an attack on conservative activist Charlie Kirk. A federal official tells NBC News there's not a solid understanding of whether there's any connection between that relationship and the shooting. Kirk open on his views critical of both transgender people and trans rights. Investigators say the suspect told his family he didn't like Kirk or his viewpoints.
According to family and people that we're interviewing, he does come from a conservative family, but his ideology was very different than his family.
State charges are expected to be filed against the suspect on Tuesday. In Arizona, Turning Point USA, the conservative organization Kirk co-founded, is now planning a massive memorial. The event next Sunday at Arizona's State Farm Stadium, expecting to draw President Trump.
I'm going to be going to Charlie's, I guess you'd call it a funeral. There's the small one. I said, can we do the big one? Because we're going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is a big deal.
More tributes appearing nationwide. On NFL Sunday, several teams honoring Kirk before kickoff.
His life for your glory.
And in Phoenix,
we pray that Charlie Kirk's life will be celebrated today.
Kirk's church remembering his impact, calling his life a testament to unwavering conviction, and even sharing an AI-generated message of Kirk himself from beyond the grave.
Don't waste 1 second mourning me.
I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again.
Back in Utah.
There's a lot of pain.
Nope.
There's a lot of pain.
And this is why there should be more security, guys. All right. Robert Kennedy, you guys are funny. Robert Kennedy solved it. I'm gay because of vape chemicals. Maybe mods can drop the link to Jay's book. Yes, definitely. Drop the link to my book. It will be a lot more helpful. But I'm trying to go back and forth. I'm not giving you guys one perspective. I'm showing you who Charlie Kirk was in his own words, and the things that he debated and how we got here. And how we got here is what happened, is exactly what happened on September 10th. His life was taken because why? Tyler Robinson gives us a brief insight, but he doesn't tell us exactly why. Not yet.
Not just me, but in the whole world.
On the campus where he witnessed the shooting from mere feet away, Skylar Baird is refusing to live in fear, standing by what he believes in.
You feel, in a way, emboldened.
Oh, 100%.
All right, there's a lot of people that have a lot to say, and I want you to see who Kirk is in his own words, guys. Charlie Kirk's story in his own words, and he's debating, guys. It's a good debate. They're good debates. Why do people do that? All right, listen, Charlie Kirk, I couldn't find a better thing than to tell you who he was in his own words. Let me speed it up a little bit, though. Hold on.
We're going to end today's show by paying tribute to Charlie, letting him tell his story in his own words. Charlie's story had many chapters, shaped by faith and his belief in Christian values. And those values were something he often discussed.
Yep.
The Declaration only refers to God 4 times in the Constitution. It doesn't refer to God at all.
There
and it
you
only
go.
articulates the structure of government. Is common law Christian in nature, or is it not?
Remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. In almost every single one of the original state constitutions, Pennsylvania included, they had, I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior in the original state constitutions. A common law is an outgrowth of the scriptures. So let's go to 3 principles of common law: due process and jury of your peers, wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is the idea of blind justice. We get that in the West, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal: neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you're all one in Jesus Christ, which we get the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas. They're not Enlightenment ideas, which is they kind of get conflated at the time. But more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence.
But do you see, like, I'm trying to show you who he was based on his feelings and his relationship with God and the Bible. And that's what he's basing it on. So, I mean, I can't blame him when he's a supporter of, he supports the Bible. His family beliefs are based on whatever his core belief systems are. I can't think that this guy would back down when he's having a debate and say, although I believe in the Bible 100%, I'm just going to let it go about gays. I think they're perfectly fine. They should all get married. No, he's going to point out what the Bible says and rebut that. But that's where we have our freedom of speech to go back and say, this is what I can't find my weed. Supernova, so I can't find. All right, let's keep going.
Well, that's a big deal.
From faith to family. A couple of months ago on Fox and Friends Weekend, he talked about the tough love he and his wife sometimes needed to dish out.
Yep.
Charlie, how old are the kids?
About to be 3 and 1 years old.
Okay.
So we're right in the thick of it. For
He
our
loves his
daughter,
family,
she
guys.
sometimes screams for a screen. No, actually, you don't get the screen. And shout out to my wife. She's so good at this. Oh, you don't want to eat dinner? Fine. You'll have breakfast and you'll have something next morning.
Protecting the family unit was also something Charlie believed was a top priority for America.
How are you? What a beautiful kid that is.
Thank you.
What a gift
so
from God.
much.
And guys, we really need to understand about this alleged assassination so that we can make sure it doesn't happen again. I mean, Trump has already 2 times at the very least been an attempted assassination. Did we not learn that if you're going to go in front of a bunch of people that are of different faiths, religious belief, cultures, sexual orientations, that you've got to be careful and you've got to have more security. You've got to look ahead at If you're going to be talking about gun control and his last words were counting or not counting gang violence, which I have that interview of the last guy that was talking to him as the bullet passed and his life was taken. If you're going to do that, and he said he wasn't scared, that's fine that he wasn't scared, but now his wife and his children have to go on without him. All right. If you're going to preach that, it doesn't matter if I was to go out in front of I see an African-American person on there. If I am a complete believer that only white people are right, that I only am, you know what? It's my belief that I only stand with white people. And I'm in an audience full of a bunch of African-Americans that I know have been holding guns since they're 12. I'm going to make sure and be careful what I say, how I say it, and damn that I'm secure. All right. His beliefs and speaking out did not justify. Absolutely it didn't, but we need to learn from what happened in this situation. Instead of coming up with all these conspiracy theories, we need to focus on what did happen and how we can fix that so that this doesn't happen to Trump, guys. It's been attempted twice on Trump.
She truly is. She is the biggest blessing. Something that kind of has me like on the fence of whether or not I go kind of like full blown more like conservative or moderate is just seeing how like welfare has like really like destroyed like the family unit. I see that, we're starting to save a lot of money. Do you think that some of that money should go back to maybe like reforming the way that welfare is done to help poor families who do want to kind of pursue that American dream?
Great question. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the...
But do you see that his beliefs are, love you too, MM Clark, his beliefs are very rooted in, right? His fundamental beliefs and values are in the Bible, right? With the Bible. And a lot of people aren't that way. Supernova says, I doubt security even considered the roof or cared about it since Charlie wasn't the president. I don't think they do that, which they need to learn to do that because he's heavily backing Trump, and that's happened to Trump many times. And when you hear the way he talks to people and what he talks about, people get upset. Yeah, the Christian Bible. There you go. Thank you. All right, I'm going to show you some things where people are very upset, and I understand why. I really do. You can't not understand why unless you're just completely dense. Watch how he interacts. He's 31 years old and he interacts with these youths that they feel like he thinks he's better than them. I'm telling you right now what I found today.
Family. Yes. That is the number one priority. Every number gets better for every community if dads are around. Every number gets worse when dads are not around. Unfortunately, in the Black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all Black youth will be raised without a stable father around.
And yes, thank you for saying that, Thomas. Let's look away from his belief from the Bible. He believed in the American nuclear family, and I believe in that too. The only difference is he thinks that marriage should be between a man and a woman. And I've been married for 17 years, together for 20, 2 children. Maybe that's not the American nuclear family, but I'll tell you right now, I'm as close to any other family or straight family or whatever you want to call it with love and respect. So when he says things like that, I highly disagree. All right. But I don't want to shoot him and end his life either.
I know, it's crazy, right? To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families.
And again, I can debate that as well, because when you remove dads from families, nothing happens. Nothing. My son is 26, doesn't have a dad. He has 2 moms. My daughter is 10, going to be 11, has 2 moms. And many times I'm very proud of being 2 moms. And I say, #2 moms are better than 1. Do I want somebody to shoot me over that? No. All right. Let's keep, but he does clearly say that marriage is for a man and a woman. I'm going to show you.
Government has come in and has taken the place.
Charlie brought that same passion to his belief in the future of young conservatives.
But those of us that are conservatives, we have an uplifting message for America,
See?
one that is
There's
hopeful, one
nothing
of
bad
family
about what
formation,
he's
one
saying.
of church attendance going up, one of business ownership, of entrepreneurship. And think about the message of the Democrats. They say your country is racist, your past is terrible, your entire nation is irrelevant and should not really exist in its current form. They say you might die of climate change and that systemic racism is everywhere. What a depressing worldview, and the impact has been culturally transformational. The movement is ascendant and growing, and everybody in this audience, I hope you understand, we are seeing the greatest generational shift since Woodstock. We are seeing a generation that was supposed to be liberal, supposed to be progressive, becoming increasingly conservative. And
see, many people are changing their minds when they hear him. I bet you there, out of 100 people that are there, people are swaying. People are saying, hey, this is not how we're supposed to be. My parents were hippies and whatever, but we need to get on that right path and the righteous path and be with God. And they're following him. He's a leader. They look up to him. All right. Not much different. Yeah, but Wyatt, if I leave not much different and you and your wife and mom and dad, 2 parents in a house, that is not what Charlie is saying. Charlie is against 2 women or 2 men because the Bible doesn't say that. And I'm okay with that. But you try being somebody that somebody doesn't like and see how you take it. And when he's preaching that to a youth or to a generation, a whole generation of youthful people, you'll see how they take what he's saying.
And that is, for the Democrats, an existential dilemma for them and their political future.
I mean, he's pointing
And finally,
fingers at people.
Charlie let us all know what he hoped would be his legacy.
How would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith.
When Charlie spoke of faith, when he spoke of the Bible, when he spoke of...
All right, now we're going to take that and we're going to show you some of the things that he did say that don't come across so nice. Now, and I understand why he's saying it, like this one. This has nothing to do with gay and transgender, but this has to do with his beliefs and that align with President Trump and many of the Republicans, right? So let's listen to this for a minute and some of his best debates.
You had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped. And she was going to give birth and she would and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped and she was going to give birth and she would and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
It's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped.
Okay.
And she was going to give birth and she would and she was going to...
So do you see what I'm saying? There's a bunch of youthful, passionate people that are getting crushed by him. You better have some security there. If I'm going to go speak, you better have some security there. And next we're going to talk about Tyler Robinson, but I do want you to see what I'm seeing through the eyes of Tyler and him being, if that happened, if that's the case, him being confused and scared and worried about and having to pretend to be trans and homophobic. Helen says, but he has many times, we all agree to disagree. I saw his one debate, he told a young gay man, you are a good man, but that has nothing to do with you as a person. And that's awesome. That's awesome that he said that out of 1 time, 2 times, but listen how he debates with these youths. It gets very heated, guys. That's what we need to see on screen, not Jay. Everyone believes that. Where does it start? Where does it end? Well, that's a good question. You tell me. When he talks to these youth, this is Charlie Kirk's best debate moment. So I'm not cherry picking him just talking crap about gays. You can see all the MAGA people in the audience.
Proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself. Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Than a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up.
Now, listen, Thomas, after what happened with Trump, there absolutely should be securities on the top of the buildings where a sniper would shoot. I cannot believe after what happened with Trump that they didn't. Now, question, you say, how do you want more security at these types of events but want more? I never asked for more gun control. Rules for thee, not for me. No way, Thomas Karras. Never once did I say that I want more gun control. You got to remember, I live in California, my friend, and I love you, Thomas. You're my hero within the Madeline Soto case. But in California, man, there's enough gun security. I don't even know how to say what the gun security is. The money you have to pay, the classes you have to take, the extra things that they put on to make more money. I never asked for more gun control in my life. But my whole point is, if you're going to have a debate like this, and you saw what happened to Trump, and you see that these trans or gay or just the people that want to have abortion and they're against abortion, they're very young, they're very youthful, and they have access to guns. Put some FBI agents, put some whoever you can get on the roof looking at this. If you're going to have direct attacks to an audience, then you better have some sort of security. And that's what he was talking about, guns, when he got his life taken. All right. So, but criminals don't have to go. Exactly. And that's what he was saying. That's exactly what he was saying. He was absolutely talking about that. His last words, and I'm going to play that, counting on or not counting gang violence. He was talking about gun control. So I'm not. Yeah, God bless open carry in Florida. I wish I lived in Florida, if only for that reason, Thomas. I'm all about my guns and my rights and my freedom of speech. I'm more like you guys, I think, you Republicans and right wingers. I'm a lot more like you than you think. All right. Now, just because of how I look and who my family is, I want you to understand that I'm not an extreme anything. All right. Why not have an event inside? Exactly. Go inside an arena, have cameras. I've gone to a Snoop Dogg concert that has more security than this Charlie Kirk event. You already got blood boiling. We see what's happening with ICE. We see that immigrants, and he even brings that up in one. Charlie Kirk brings up the immigrants in the Lake and Riley case. And what's the other one? Not Lake and Riley. It's the other girl. I covered both of them. He brought both of those cases up. And boy, did we have a freaking huge discussion about Lake and Riley and her, the people that came from out of the country that we wanted out of here. Amen, Jay. I promise Kirk was way more moderate than Trump. And that I agree with. That's why I am here right now talking about I investigated Charlie Kirk's agenda. Hear what I found, and hashtag I am Charlie Kirk. All right. I mean, what do you look at the tensions? Look how high the tensions are.
To a microphone.
You create a company that's like close to being a fascist, and then
How am I? Sorry. Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
No. Dude,
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
You believe that you on.
Let
him think.
But I'm such a bad.
Listen, guys, I love to debate. I would go on that stage and go debate with these people and probably blow away a few thousand people with my mind, because they would look at you and say, "What? You're an idiot, Jay. How could you back Trump, or how could you back this guy that clearly hates you and your family, and how you whatever," right? I've been told that. All right. But I guarantee you I would blow your mind if I was on that stage debating my beliefs in front of people. And it only takes one crazy person, and I shouldn't say crazy, one person that needs a mental health check to do what happened. Auntie Ree, every single one of these young men, Kirk included, were just another arm of Trump carrying out a different part of his agenda. All right. You guys do me a favor. I know it's a tough topic. Hit that like button and get yourself a membership if you like the way I present true crime. Today, it's a bit of a debate.
Fascist. I let the people who disagree in open mic to talk to me for 2 hours uninterrupted.
Okay.
I'm an awful fascist. I'm more like a free speech liberal of the 1970s, not a fascist.
But I just want to say Turning Point USA is a evil company that was funded by thousands of fracking companies, and that's just...
No, it's not thousands, but we do have some frackers that give us money. But
and then all it is making the rich more rich.
Fascism to fracking.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, again, I'm happy to have a debate. I can see you're getting kind of fired up.
I'm sorry.
So, but why?
And see, here's the thing is we know that he was sent there to get people to vote and to get them to start thinking in a different way. So you can see how heated some of those people are. And you're right. They absolutely, one guy made a fool of himself by getting up there and reading a list of things. Charlie's just looking at him like, you're an idiot. You're going to come up here and try to debate me while you're reading a piece of paper and don't even understand what the hell you're talking about. They only showed the most now listen, Shannon, this was this video was put out for his agenda. Like, this is what his agenda. They're saying it's his best moment. So what I'm putting out is more agreeable on his side than I'm showing you on the side of trans or gay, which I'm going to show you next. And then after that, I'm going to go and show you that Tyler Robinson was spotted kissing his trans partner 2 weeks before the alleged assassination. I could imagine that his blood was boiling. All right. And love me or hate me, I'm just giving you how I feel. In my opinion, I absolutely disagree with what happened to Charlie Kirk. That's 110% wrong.
Why are we evil? Like, we're having a nice discussion.
Because
all of a sudden you're calling me like
because it seems like you just want the rich get even more rich. Like,
we haven't talked about the rich at all.
I know.
I mean, so you don't even know my positions on this stuff.
Exactly.
Under no circumstance ever should a man ever let a woman pay for a date, or you should split ever. No circumstance.
Even on the third, fourth, fifth.
What if it's the first date and you're just not
into
for anything?
Okay, well, let me.
Period.
Well, let me. Okay, so
what kind of world are we living in?
Well, hold on a second. I agree with you. If I'm dating a girl,
See, when you say a statement like that, folks, you already know that you're pushing a debate, which is fine. You're pushing a debate, all right? Debate, skill, chivalry, willingness to trap someone else in an argument, even under the guise of list. Yes. I agree. Milky Way Girl says, wait, what does this have to do with Israel? Exactly. Nothing. Jay, his sponsor, Ackman, is behind this. I'll email you the link. Please, Thomas, send me an email, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. I'll be happy to put that on. I'm going to take this off and just see what he's debating and why. There's a reason. And then let me show you one more before Thomas sends that over, so I can show you why the boiling points of, in my opinion, why this boiled over in the way that it did. And we're going to focus on Tyler after this so you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right. Yeah, this has nothing to do with Israel right now. And thank you guys. I didn't see her. Thank you so much, Clar. Hope you guys can help me get to that goal. I know you're more conservative than left-wing. Children tend to do that to you. Thank you, Clar. I appreciate your super chat. All right, listen here, and then I'm going to show you what boiled over. What the heck happened, in my opinion.
Is a harmful stance.
Okay, so what is a woman?
A woman was a gender, but a woman is a person that is female, you would say.
Gender is an artificial concept made up by John Money in the 1960s. There are no genders, there are two sexes, and there are unlimited personalities.
Well, your personality is unique to you. Your gender is a category that you fall into.
I thought that gender is fluid. So can trans women give birth?
No, but I don't think all women can give birth.
Can somebody self-identify as a leopard?
A leopard? No, because a leopard has a definite.
But do you see how mad somebody could be? And I'm going to tell you this. If I were 23, 24, 25, I could see myself being upset by what this guy is saying. I can see myself getting intimidated or feeling a certain way. And especially when we get to Tyler, Tyler was probably a self-hating man that did not want to be gay or want to be in love with or be dating a trans, but he also wanted to have that secret life, and it exploded over. Yeah, what happened to critical thinking? That's why I'm here today. I'm talking about what I found, and let's think critically. But again, you got to remember when you're debating the youth and their feelings and their hormones, and you're having a harsh rhetoric, like you're literally telling someone, do you want to identify as a cheetah or a leopard? When you say that, you're gonna piss somebody off. All right. If I'm going to the audience of all African Americans and I'm sitting there saying white is right, fight me over it, debate me, white is right. And boy, if we could only have those slaves again, I wouldn't have to be paying house cleaners and whatever. I'm just saying, and you guys know what I'm saying. All right. That is not correct. That is not. But look at the way that he is so confident in himself. And these youths are not.
It's a different species. You can't identify as
But
something
hold
that
on.
you aren't.
But it's a different sex, so you can't identify as a different sex.
You can't. You're right. I wouldn't say that trans women are biologically assigned female at birth. That's just not true.
Oh, okay. So what
But
you're
gender
saying is that
only
they're
matters, it's only
masquerading.
relevant in your role in society, the way that you're viewed.
It's not just about the roles in what they are. We are fundamentally different at our core. Our brain structures are different. Our hormone levels are different. Our needs, our wants, our desires, how we talk and process information. God made us uniquely different. It's not just how you look. It's not just how you present. A biological man can put.
And see, that's beautiful what he just said. But then he's gonna go into cutting down what this guy is saying. And that's fine. I don't mind cutting you guys down on when I have a debate with somebody. I don't mind that. I don't mind cutting somebody down if I knew that they weren't going to shoot me, right? So these are the people that he's debating with, all right? And then I'm going to talk about Tyler and understand why the heck he snapped. But I do want you to listen because his wife Erica, she's going to come hard, guys. Even though she's upset, she's as tough as he is, and there's 10 more Charlie Kirks coming for us now, or coming for whoever thought he was coming, right? Not good.
Put on a bunch of makeup and camouflage as a woman. It will never actually make him a woman. It will not make him think like a woman or act like a woman. And so the whole idea of transgenderism is inherently super disrespectful to biological reality and real women themselves, saying that it is just an outfit or a costume that women can go put on and you magically become a woman. Parker, welcome, and the mic is yours.
Yeah, can I ask you, do you think that Elon was like saluting or doing a Nazi salute?
Well, you didn't even say hello, man.
Oh, sorry. Hello, how are you doing,
I'm
Charlie?
doing great, Parker. How are you? No.
But they put him up there strategically. And hello, Mama Pearl, love you. They strategically put him up there. All right. What is not good is people like me standing up. Wait, what? I think that everybody should stand up, but they did this in a strategic way where they knew Charlie Kirk is a well-known debater and he knows his content, right? He's a master debater, like some would call it. And I think, is Parker what you sent me, Thomas? Thomas sent me Candace Owens there lying about Charlie Kirk, which I can get to after. And trust me, I have a lot more that I've been looking at. I do believe he went too strong. Exactly. If you're going to go that strong on them, make sure that you have they were talking about him wearing body armor. He didn't have body armor on. There's a lot of things they were talking about, and there was none of that. There was no protection. All right, none. I saw the final. I saw not the final, the only one and only shot. No, nothing edited.
Elon Musk was not doing the Nazi salute. You traveled all the way from LA to ask that question.
That's not the only question. I can ask you about other things.
You only get like one other question because we got a long line, but okay.
Do you think slavery at all points in history was wrong?
You asked the same question at Jubilee, but yes, you did actually. So what is my answer?
Well, you'd have to say yes, because in Leviticus 25:44 through 46, God says you can own people as slaves and pass them down to your children as inherited property for life.
Okay.
And in Exodus 21:20 through 21, God says you can beat those slaves insofar as they recover after a day or two.
So what is the word slave in Hebrew?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's Eved, right? Or were my Jewish friends in the audience?
All right, so listen, they knew what they were doing. They put Charlie Kirk up there. It says Charlie Kirk wrecks trans women, all women. They put him up there because he knows what he's talking about and they want to change the mind of certain people. Now, listen, Tyler Robinson is the guy that he has confessed on Discord to the Discord messages. FBI has now stepped in. They are looking at everybody. All right. So Lance Twiggs is the alleged transgender partner that's transitioning from male to female of Tyler Robinson, who clearly stated that he doesn't like trans people. He came across very trans and homophobic. So he's carrying that inside, and he's listening to these people. He's listening to everything that, and it's all boiling, and he knew it. And he told his family that Charlie Kirk is coming here, and I don't like him, and I plan on going to the debate, right? All right. So who is Charlie Kirk's shooter, and what are the neighbors saying? Right? I wish I could just completely play everything, but this is when the tension starts.
Who's walking with him?
Were they holding hands?
Yeah, they were. So, yeah, they drove off in his car, the Dodge Challenger.
The time you saw them, or this week?
It was about the time I saw them. So
how long ago was that?
I would say about 2 weeks ago.
And so they looked like they were a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was dressed all in black.
Yeah, definitely.
And you thought he was weird.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
What was?
Listen. His Lance Twig is currently working with FBI. That Lance Twig person has a lot to say about Tyler Robinson and is fully working with the FBI. And I don't know why you don't believe this guy. There's so many people that said that he was in a relationship, including the Lance Twig, the one that they call a furry transgender. All right. So I'm not sure why you don't believe it. It's kind of like people in the conspiracy theories. I don't understand, but give me your best one and I'll try to talk about it.
Just the way he walked and just the way I've seen him. I've never seen really anybody dressed all in black with a mask on, and I thought that was just quite weird.
For those who've never seen the roommate, describe that person for us.
He did have freckles on his face. For the haircut, he did have, it was a weird haircut. It was kind of a mushroom shaped one. Yeah, I would say he didn't come out much, but definitely a few other, like just a little bit at a time.
There's some published reports out there that this individual, the roommate,
Jeff, I just quoted at the very beginning the things that Charlie says that are noteworthy. I wouldn't say they were bad depending on who you are, but when some young confused person comes up and's already feeling bad about themselves transitioning, and you go up to a podium and you get blasted, you're going to walk away with hurt feelings. And that's what I believe happened in this case. All right. His feelings were already hurt, and he already targeted Charlie, knowing that he was coming to where he was, to the university. All right. Why did the shooter have to have the most generic name? That is funny. You're very right.
may have been transitioning. Did that correlate with what you saw?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he was going to have an operation to be to turn into a woman.
Yeah, and I think he was getting ready for that.
Sorry, in what way do you think that?
I remember them talking about a doctor's appointment. It was about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
And they were kissing.
Yeah.
Do you know where did you see them kissing?
Just coming out. I was writing.
I mean, the Twigs guy, right? The furry Twigs guy. I don't even care. Lance Twigs is cooperating, but he's also corroborating that story. All right. Tyler shooting Charlie for his trans love reminds me of John Hinckley shooting President Reagan for Jodie Foster, right? Bad things and nuance. All right. Best conspiracy. Let's hear best conspiracy. Let's finish this so I see Charlie's wife is now coming for everybody, and there's going to be 10 more Charlies, guys. It didn't make things better, I'll tell you that.
With my bike, so I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah. I saw them.
And when did you hear them talking about a doctor's appointment?
I would say about the same time that they came out. So that one time, yeah.
Where were you standing for that?
I was just riding by here.
Okay.
So.
And you were able to hear snippets of their conversation?
Yeah. Yep.
But you were sure that they were a couple, but you have only seen them together once?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, random guys don't hold hands, and definitely.
He said random guys don't hold hands, guys. Jamie says, I went to the event UVU 2 months after the Las Vegas shooting. I was on edge. There was no security. My anxiety set me in a full-blown panic attack. We left the event, and that was the case here. They admitted to not having enough security and being super laxed. All right. Now let's keep going. This is the neighbor talking about the roommate with Tyler, them holding hands and kissing. All right. Candace is the first step to Charlie's wife or friends. You'll love. Thank you, Thomas. I got it. I appreciate it. All right. Let's keep going. And you guys can debate whatever you want. Just be nice with each other. Don't forget, guys, we need to get in the algorithm. So please hit that like button, subscribe, gift memberships, and getting green, baby. Green is a good color.
Don't kiss. So I would have tried to stop him if I knew it was him, like before. I definitely do not like the fact that he was living close to me.
There it is.
It was
Okay, guys, at minimum, when you see this guy running across the roof, jumping down, and then running, going back to everything he did that day, they missed. This is the exact same thing. This is like a deja vu of what happened to Trump. Was it the first or was it the second time? They said, oops, when it clipped his ear. All right. And then they did it, and then it happened again. That's just clear. And whoever says that, 200 yards, there's no way it had to be a paid shooter. No, 200 yards is just a regular shoot. When you go outside, when you go outdoor to an outdoor shooting range, you got 100 yards and you got 200 yards. It's not like it's 600 yards. Trust me, when you've got a decent scope and a high-powered rifle, 200 yards is just like me reaching up to this camera and changing its position. 200 yards is nothing. All right. And I'm going to put the best conspiracy so I can tell you that 200 yards ain't ish. All right. It's an easy shot with a decent scope. And I believe the way he got his gun up there was to disassemble it. He took it apart, 3 parts. All you need is a little screwdriver to put it back together and you're ready to go. All right. I just want you guys to understand that I don't believe this is a conspiracy whatsoever.
Covered with police tape.
Yeah.
A ton of police cars. We had a guy sitting up on the hill with a sniper and SWAT trucks, and definitely a few helicopters.
Yep.
And a drone as well.
What was going through your mind when you stepped
I
out and
was
saw
like,
that?
I was like, what is going on? And I asked the police officer, I'm like, did a killing happen here? They're like, I can't tell you. And so I called my grandma, found out that the guy that shot.
All right, so they're trying to debunk all the junk that people are saying. It was 2 people. They did this. They did that. They're trying to focus on what happened. Now, this is allegedly Charlie Kirk's shooter. And what was his motive, guys?
Could be a possible motive. Right now, federal investigators say they are talking to this man, Tyler Robinson, about why he might want to kill Charlie Kirk. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. The 22-year-old was turned in by a family member after he apparently admitted to carrying out this attack.
At least they did that.
Conan Nolan live on a newsroom. Conan, are there any hints of a motive yet?
A little bit, based on casings that they found with the murder weapon. Now, the suspect in this murder.
I also want you guys to know I've also heard the conspiracy that it would be so difficult to engrave on the casings of a high-powered rifle the ammunition. That is not. It absolutely is not. We saw Luigi Mangione and we heard all the conspiracy theories. It's absolutely easy to etch on the side of your bullets. And if I have to go get a bullet for you, I can get an AR-15. I can get a 280. I can get whatever you want. A giant size bullet. It's so easy to engrave on. A lot of people that have shops and take their GUNs apart and clean them, they easily have the capability to etch on the side of a bullet. No conspiracy. Yeah, shots easy, etching is easy. That's what I wanted you to know. Absolutely. What's up, Jennifer B? How you doing? Bullet casing, which is it's all. If you trust me, I am the COO of a mechanical engineering company, and it's easy like that to do that. And most men that have some sort of a shop, or a lot of people make their own, they get their own gunpowder and reuse their casings or the bullets. All right. So it's not that hard. Jazz is a sad story. I really believe that she was detained, destined to be a gay man, not trans. Ooh, what did I miss here? All right, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and get yourself some green. All right, what's the motive?
Murder has been booked in the Utah County Jail on multiple counts, including murder. He was, as you pointed out, turned in by family members through a church counselor. Police believe he acted alone.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
The announcement made by Utah Governor Spencer Cox confirming the arrest of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson of St. George, Utah. He's believed to be the man behind the assassination of conservative political activist and influencer Charlie Kirk during a speaking engagement at Utah Valley University on Wednesday. Investigators say the suspect's family recognized Robinson in video and pictures from the crime scene and then confronted him. The murder suspect reportedly confessing, or at least intimating, that he indeed carried out the attack.
Robinson had become more political in recent years.
There you
The
go.
family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th. Robinson mentioned Charlie.
Listen, guys, this is who we are targeting, right? This is absolutely who we are targeting, is the youth to start voting, right? Now, literally a dude was arrested for saying he shot him when he didn't. Skate Mom says the battle cries of a widow will forever stay with me. And we're going to listen to just a few moments of that, because that got to me as well. Who were the other bullets for, and why there's so many inscriptions on the cases like that? That's interesting. And I have a lot of things, 5 things to debunk. Hopefully I can get to that, because I have got a lot more today. I just want you to see his motives, and then we'll get to the outcry and the call for more action now.
Was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
Investigators say a friend of the suspects
Who
showed
said
them
that?
a message chain on a social media app that he had with Robinson.
Stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point.
We know that he attended 1 semester of college and that his parents live in a middle-class neighborhood in a 6-bedroom house in a Republican area of Utah. But we don't know about his state of mind. We don't know whether he had any interactions with the mental health system. He doesn't appear to have had much of a criminal record.
Christian Schweierman is a neighbor.
Kid was smart, quiet. He never caused any problems.
In capitals, courthouses, and city halls across the nation, deep concern over the loss of life and the political civility that is essential to American democracy.
We'll just have to change the rhetorical nature of our debate.
We must stand together in a moment and collectively say no more.
We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even especially those ideas with which you disagree.
Police say along with the gun they found on Wednesday wrapped in a towel, there were casings with engravings on them. One read, "Hey, fascist, catch." Another, Bella Chow, an anti-fascist.
Yeah, I do think they were trying to throw the police off by showing some kind of, they're trying to push it on to, the super left or well, they just said fascist. They're trying to put it out in a different way. I don't think he realized that he was going to get caught that fast, although I don't know how he wouldn't. And I'm trying to follow chat, but I'm also trying to get into everything that I had for you ready today and to make my talking points. So hopefully you guys are doing good in chat. I don't know who would ever say that because he didn't empathize that he should be. No, I don't believe any of that. I think that I would be happy to debate somebody like Charlie Kirk in his agenda, because I would be a lot more prepared than some of those youths. All right. Those youths, I don't think are prepared at all. They went up there. They felt very prepared. And when you go against someone like Charlie Kirk, he's going to blow you away and shut you up and make you feel stupid. And that's your own problem, not his. You should have done more research. But listen now, Erica's heartbreaking 5 moments, just 3 minutes. And then we're going to listen to the last debate from the guy that was talking to him, and he heard the last words. We all heard the last words, but he's going to talk about the very last words, counting or not counting gang violence. And that was it.
My husband loved you.
We're not listening to this.
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you.
I'm sorry, guys, but that came across at 222. Please say a prayer for the Kirk family and say a prayer for all of us for where we're headed, where this country is headed, guys, because I mean, this is too much. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, it is creepy. I hear that a lot, but you do get desensitized when you're covering the news every single day. I hate to say that.
God bless you.
I love how Mormons have more kids than they can afford. I think it's time for Mormons to come to talk. By the way, I love how Mormons have more kids than they can afford. I think it's time for Mormons to come to talk.
Well, that music is terrible, guys. All right, heartbreaking final moments. I just wanted you to hear her get pissed.
I love you.
So it's sad, guys.
Bless you. Oh, I love you. I love you.
That's so sad, and I don't even find it creepy. I find it so sad because I do believe that they're making a public statement by doing this publicly, guys, or they wouldn't have. All right, Skate Mom, I'd kiss my husband one last time. Midnight Lace, thank you for the $2 super sticker, getting us one step closer. We just need 5 more, guys. 5 more, either memberships, gifted memberships, or super chats. I appreciate it. It sounds like they do have a microphone because they absolutely purposely are doing this for the public. I cried when she spoke. It's heartbreaking. It is. And she's telling us something. She has a strong message here.
And the love you.
I can't handle the sound, but I want her to be like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like somebody said in chat. Obi-Wan Kenobi, we're gonna come at you harder. What was that statement?
Vice President Vance.
Hold on, let me turn this
and
up.
his
Sorry,
phenomenal wife,
bothering me.
Usha.
Hold on.
Phenomenal.
Right here.
And his phenomenal wife, Usha.
Thank you,
for their
Evan.
love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you.
Yep. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, Kirk probably would have ran for president one day. All right. He absolutely was part of the Trump. He wasn't actually part of Trump administration, but he was pushing for that and that direction. All right. I lost that. And then I'm going to show you the last debate. Hold on. I want you to listen to this because I think I lost it. The last
enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice.
Agreed.
Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, has spoken out about his death.
She appeared on a live stream on Friday to deliver her first public address after the death of her Turning Point USA founder husband, who was shot while speaking at Utah Valley University on Wednesday, September 10th. While on the live stream, Erica spoke about her husband's faith and referred to him as a, quote, martyr.
2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're all about religion and the Bible. I understand where they're
Now
coming
and
from, guys.
for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side.
Thank you.
Wearing the glorious crown of a martyr.
She got emotional, speaking about how devastated she feels.
My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation.
Oh, she's going to come hard, guys. She's coming hard.
He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart.
Again, this is real public. It's going to stay real public. All right. And they're such a young family. He was 31. She talks about, I'm not playing the whole thing. It's just, this is a few-minute clip, but she talks, literally calls Charlie the perfect husband and perfect father. I don't know if I would ever be called the perfect anything, but boy, she knows what she's doing, and she's pushing an agenda of who he was, and she wants people to remember that, as she should.
I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too.
Oh, that's so sad, man.
So does our Lord.
I know sometimes frivolously, you guys, we say to the public, like I'll say something like, I don't care if you guys do this, and I go run my mouth and I say something that pisses you or somebody off, but I do care, and I'm sure he did too. It's kind of creepy, and it's real irking, like just irks you to hear some of his last words when he says, you know what I'm standing for, I don't care, I'm going to stand for it, and whoever comes for me. He really, felt invincible. And who would have thought that him trying to preach love, his version of what love is, for you, Wyatt, for Auntie Reeve, for Chief, for Supernova, for everybody, that it would come across differently. I don't think that's really what he wanted at all, because if his spirit is around and he does see that, I guarantee you he would not want to have left a beautiful wife and 2 children behind just because he was debating youth and trying to change her mind. I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. And it could be. We have 2 women in our house. All right, I want you guys to listen to this before I lose everybody. The last person to debate Charlie Kirk, and I'm gonna have to play it a little faster. I can't play all of it because I don't want it to be like a Lori Vallow situation where it pulls me down. But this was the guy that was talking to him when his last words were counting or not counting gang violence. All right. If you guys didn't hear this, I want you to. Laura Jean, shout out. Thank you for becoming a member or a subscriber. Appreciate you. I'm going to go in and gift some memberships, guys. I'm going to try to pay attention to this, though, because I do feel bad for this guy, but I want you to hear that I'm not pulling any narrative. I'm not cherry picking. I'm telling you what Charlie Kirk stood for in his own words, in his family words. I'm not trying to play a side. I'm trying to show you all sides. All right.
My name is Hunter. I was in the middle of debating Charlie Kirk in the middle of the assassination at Utah Valley University.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
All right. That was it. That's a guy right there. He literally, let me just back that up. It's not showing anything, but listen to what he said. Within the first few seconds, yes. And guys, I see you in chat too. There absolutely should have been more When they talk about him having body armor, there should have been more security, guys. I can't imagine looking at the rooftops and it just being empty, and not having, after what happened to Trump, security up there, guys. I can't.
America over the last 10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
What brought you to the event that day?
I make videos on Charlie Kirk, and I made this video about the statistical analysis on trans shooters, and sort of the point that
All right, this is perfect, and I'm not cherry picking anything. I'm laying down what happened and showing you what happened.
I was trying to make was that it's sort of a statistical outlier, that they're extremely underrepresented when it comes to how peaceful they are. Obviously, that question, pretty ironic given when it was given. Yeah, so I mostly came in there because Charlie's very open about having some sort of dialogue or some sort of...
And he loves debating. That's the whole thing, is bring Charlie so he can debate the youth. And these youth are easily moldable. They're easy to go in and bring some hats and bring some stickers and hype them up and talk them into loving and the Bible and what's right. I mean, they're the youth. They're purposely targeted at the youth to be able to conform their minds. But at the same time, they're also changing. They have mental health problems. They're taking who knows what DRUG they did before they went. All right. I hope you didn't think I thought you were No, absolutely not. KPM, you're good. I'm just letting my audience know that where I stand. And I definitely don't stand on one side or the other. And I certainly am not offended by somebody that says gays chose to live that way, and gays, the Bible doesn't, I don't care what lifestyle they choose, but gays shouldn't, I don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings, guys. You guys can say all you want. Anybody can say all they want and have the opinion. I am not a youthful I'm not a youth. I'm 46 years old, and you can't sway me to your beliefs and what you think, because I already have my own, and it's heavily rooted. My beliefs are heavily rooted, so I know where I stand.
A conversation that he believes in engaging, and I'm pretty on the record of how much I disagree with him, but I do definitely respect how much he's willing to platform voices to ensure that at least some semblance of a good conversation can come out of it.
And as far as these statistical anomaly thing when it comes to trans shooters, is that in response to the way that him and Turning Point were framing that as a big...
And whoever was here in the beginning, you were talking about the uprise of trans shootings. All right, so listen up. If you're still here, pay attention to what we're talking about. Context is king, guys.
Yeah. So it was about 3 weeks ago. There was a trans shooter at a Catholic church. Charlie made a bunch of tweets basically saying, when are we going to start noticing that this is a trend? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting my math degree at UVU. That was my university. And I was like, there's an answer to that. There's, we can determine if there's some sort of outliers. We can use p-values, things like that. And I was like, according to the data, it really doesn't pan out that there is a trend here at all. So I kind of made a video calling him out a little bit and saying, hey, I want to come debate you. I want to come do it. And a lot of people were kind of encouraging me. So
And here's the thing, guys, a debate, when you use the word debate, everybody knows the definition of debate. A debate is not me going or coming on here and saying, Charlie, everything you say, I've been waiting to hear it, and you're so right. And, I'm going to change my ideals, and I've been so wrong for the last 25 years in my gayness. I can't believe I chose that. That's not a debate. A debate is something that you go in and you have two different sets of opinions. And I'm not looking at the wiki version or what the definition, but you guys know what debate means. It's not always going to be rainbows and sparkles. And they should know that. Yeah, debate is a civil discourse between opposing beliefs. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. I got to tell you, let me just throw a joke in real quick. Deb, you on Turtle Island are an opposing belief. I got to give you a quick kick. We were on Turtle Island last night, and somebody called to knock me off because Deb called in and voted for Jay at Guilty of Crime. Isn't that funny? Don't forget, Deb, you got to call in again on Tuesday and piss them off. All right, piss the haters off. All right, I think it's a video where the TR debated CK like a month before, right? This is the guy that was debating him that very moment.
Kind of wanted to come and have my, I guess my little audience see that.
Mm-hmm. How was the energy whenever you arrived to the event?
I know.
Very conservative, for sure.
Jennifer,
Everyone
you
was
were there.
very energetic, chanting Trump.
And this is what I want you guys to hear. If you haven't seen this yesterday, you got to watch a portion of this now. Yes, Tiff, I am obsessed with Stearns. I want Stearns to be on the island with us. All right, look, Turtle Island, baby. We're on Turtle Island. Don't forget to vote. All right, listen, he's setting the narrative for that day. And it seems that he's very just telling the truth. He's not on one side or the other.
Chanting USA.
Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
There was a line of liberals on the rooftop who were holding like pride flags and I think some like Palestine flags and things like that. And,
Really?
there was a little bit of taunting back and forth, but not very out of hand. Most of the debaters were either like asking questions like who's better, LeBron or Jordan.
Hey, Charlie Kirk was the master debater. All right. Thank you, Connie. I appreciate you.
Or like some like theological debates about distinctions between like Mormonism and Christians.
That Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all. Christ is King.
But also, the event lasted, I want to say 20 minutes, maybe. Like, I really didn't get a good finger on the pulse on what an event would really look like because, I mean, I showed up fairly early. I was the second person to speak there. So, like, the first person was maybe 10 minutes, and I maybe got like less than a minute in. So,
could you give us kind of a recap of how that conversation with Charlie went?
Sure.
Yeah, so we're good. Hey, Charlie. Hey, hopefully we're going to have a little bit more disagreement.
So it was, I came in and I said, hey, there was a shooting that happened maybe a few weeks ago in Minneapolis.
Exactly. And ever since then, about 3 weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans.
Do you?
All right, so this is their debate. They were talking about gun laws and then transgender. I mean, that was that day, guys. So what I was showing you was relatable to what happened that day. Again, you got to think about a person that's going through a change, that goes through the transition, how effed up they feel, how different they feel, how many changes they're going through, their hormones, etc. You don't want to give them a gun and then piss them off. Teresa, thank you for the $9.99 super sticker. I appreciate you. Melissa Johnson, I heard your call. Thank you so much. All right.
Is that, you agree with this? Is that a fair assessment or something like that? And he said, yes. And then
thank you.
I said,
so do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
And I said, there's 5. And I said, do you know how many shootings there have been?
Yeah.
I think maybe my memory's a little hazy. I haven't rewatched the videos, honestly. But it was something like this, which I knew the answer was, it was a little under 6,000. He said something like, we need to account for gang violence. And I think exactly. I was like, I said, I was in the middle of saying, great, did you run a statistical analysis on that? Right? Like essentially saying you have the burden of proof. And I think I was in the middle of saying that when he got shot.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America
right there,
over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Right there, guys. And I assure you, you can look every way you want. You can go look at the building up top. You can find the trajectory. I assure you, where Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter, was almost a clear path right to Charlie. And I have the video up on my Ghost page without an edit, and it doesn't ricochet off anything. I think he was going for a headshot, guys, and it went just a bit below that, and it hit him straight in the left side of his neck. It was a straight shot, guys. It was, and it's not a hard shot. You don't have to be a master shooter to get 200 degrees with the bullet. That's huge. With a scope, by the way.
I went down pretty immediately. and
You
everyone
almost
near me,
missed, you're
everyone
right.
in the rest of my line who I'd been talking to for the last like few hours dropped
Look at
down with
that.
me. I remember I have a brother who was in a school shooting, and I was talking about the distinction between these, that like for me it was there wasn't as much fear as I think I would expect, because I recognized like I think I was a lot more logical than I thought I would be in that moment, where I was like, that's an assassination. He is the target. He is the
Absolutely. That's what happened, allegedly or not. Now, you're right, KP, and this guy's the epitome of what Charlie wanted to pull out of these kids and make them think, but I don't think that tough conversations like that always translate properly when you're talking to someone that may be going through whatever they're going through. I'll tell you right now. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Nikki. I saw that shot as soon as it just touched his artery, it exploded. That's why people were trying to say that it ricocheted and hit him. No, it was an instantaneous explosion. When it hit, it was gone. Yeah, the footage was extremely graphic and disturbing. I mean, I do the news every day, guys. So, yeah, it was a premeditated. The guy was prepared. Absolutely.
the only target. I am freaked out.
He
but
was so close to
I
getting.
know that I'm okay. Whatever. It definitely became chaotic. My wife was in the crowd. I tried reaching her. It took me like 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Just a lot of chaos as like,
Hey, Coco.
I sort of shifted in a weird place, and then I had to wrap back around, and I couldn't find her in her phone.
A little bit further.
I was like, I was like, cut. That's so perfect. I'm so glad I captured that like the conservative person was so clearly just kind of needed to hear the right thing and maybe got bumped in the right direction. And I posted.
And I could see how we're not going to listen to this whole thing. You guys, you guys should go check out the last person to debate Charlie Kirk. It's a 43-minute video. I'm going to pull that off, and I want you guys to see some of the things that I hope that you're not thinking anymore. Now, I saw some people saying that there were 2 shooters, and I want you guys to see real quick the few things that are debunked. All right. In the very beginning, it's not 2 shooters. Hold on.
Valley University, because as the frantic search was ramping up, there has been a lot of chatter and misinformation and theories surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. We're taking some time to discuss some of these theories that have been spreading quite quickly.
We're just
going to allegedly took the life of political activist and media personality Charlie Kirk, identifying him during a news conference this morning as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who actually, by the way, lived hours away from Utah Valley University. But authorities say he is the man. They say he is the one who brought a bolt-action rifle to the top of a campus building and fired 1 shot at Kirk, who, by the way, was speaking in this debate-style event in front of thousands of people. That bullet, and I'm sure you've seen the videos, that bullet hit Kirk in the neck. He was rushed to a hospital, but the married father of 2 young children was pronounced dead at just 31 years old.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, they're going to address some of the things that I thought you'd want to see, so you can say, okay, there probably wasn't 2 shooters there. Those guys weren't involved.
Got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Robinson, he was taken into custody around 10 p.m. He was booked into jail. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, after surveillance images and video of this suspect was released to the public, they received thousands of leads. While he said that they're going to follow up on all those leads, even though there's an arrest, there are still so many theories about what happened here.
All right, there's the first one.
Guy. There's something bigger here. Maybe there's other people involved.
He's the fall guy.
Now, you know, we've been on top of the story from the very beginning, and we are able to do that because of the incredible support that we get from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest insurance company.
Get out of here. Nope. Okay, right here.
The white hat guy.
Right here. The white hat guy.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Okay.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Now, you see him standing behind Charlie Kirk.
There's the white hat
so it appears
guy.
that he touches his hat, then his ear, and then it's followed by a guy right next to him in black who puts his arm out and touches it. Now, that appears to be one of Charlie Kirk's security members. And then right then, that is when Charlie Kirk is shot. So the theory is, were they signaling the shooter? That is a conversation that has been happening online. I mean,
they were not, guys, and they're going to show that they took off before it even happened. Why can't they be like Hinkle? Why would it make more sense? Not Chris Kyle. Are you kidding me? All right, let's keep going. I'm going to gift memberships right now. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys, and drop a comment if you want a membership. Okay, I'm going to gift some. Okay, so there were not two guys.
Look, it is strange and it is weird that out of all topics and out of all times for Kirk to be shot, he's talking about gun violence, talking about transgender people being shooters, and the last word he says before he's shot, the word is violence. It's creepy. It's chilling. It's strange. Now, I will say, it appears when you look at another video, another angle, those two individuals, when the shot is fired, they look legitimately shocked. I think there's an argument there. They seem to be surprised by the gunfire. And the argument is...
But you guys see where the security was, my friends? The security was not where it needed to be. One guy standing behind him, the guy in the crowd that just jumped up, I know a lot of people are saying that, but I'm telling you right now that I'm trying to debunk some of the stuff so that you guys realize, and I hope you understand that I do not believe there's a bigger agenda. I don't believe that there's a trans group out there on Discord that's planning to attack. All right, pick me. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to give memberships right now. Watch this for a second. I'm trying to debunk some of these conspiracy theories that have no merit to them.
Right? They're actually in the line of fire too. Now, it does bring up something else. It brings up the issue about whether or not multiple people could, in fact, be involved. We heard what President Donald Trump said on Wednesday.
My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement.
All right. I just gifted 10 memberships. I hope you guys got one. And I want to show you something funny. All right. You don't get mad and you'll understand that I am not on the left, not on the right. I'm definitely in the middle. And just because this guy doesn't want two women or two men, doesn't think that's a sanction of marriage, and a lot of other things that I hear from that side that are like, you can't be in the middle because they hate you. Let me show you something. I think it's funny, and you're welcome for the membership, but let me show you something. And I completely didn't mean to buy it. We were looking at it, and I was asking them, is it original, etc., and I accidentally committed to it. Let me show you something real quick. Now I'm going to keep it. Hold on. Have you guys seen the Trumpy bear? It even looks like Trump. Oh my goodness. And it has an American flag in it, guys. There you go. There's your president. Let's get out. There's your president, folks. And there's the American flag, and there's your Trumpy bear. I'm just going to have him sit there while we play it. It looks exactly like him. Come on, it's got the flag and everything. All right. That guy sits in my office, folks. All right, let's listen. Let's listen in.
Officials and everyone else who brings order to our country.
I actually asked former CIA and FBI agent Tracy Walter about this before the arrest of Robinson. Take a look.
That's a Trump
Do you think this is a situation where it was one person acting alone?
Trumpy bear,
or do you
guys.
think it was coordinated and there was some help? I mean, we don't know at this point. I've seen a lot of people talking online about what may or may not have happened. From your perspective, we talked about how it might have been planned. Would you suspect that there could be multiple people involved?
So I think so, but not in the sense that you may think, Jesse. Okay. So what I actually think,
it's actually called a Trumpy bear, and that was the original Trump bear from when he first got elected the first time. All right, all gays and trans are not lefties. Tired of hearing this, and so am I. You guys like the Trumpy bear? All right. You guys get down on the Trumpy bear, okay? I did not mean to buy that, but now that I have it, I don't want to let it go.
Is there are these, they're from Telegram sub-channels, those kinds of things on social media where individuals talk about this kind of thing and talk about this kind of violence. So I 100% think that there were individuals in this chat room assisting this person, goading
Hey, listen, just because you guys do something different, hey, Supernova, I would light your blunt for you and not even smoke. I would take that and just say, hey, there you go. There's your lighter. I don't have to agree with everything that you guys agree with. We don't have to agree. Don't you think the FBI must still be dirty? They had no knowledge of these groups' plans prior. Now someone's leaking. And there's a possibility. I wouldn't put anything past anybody at this point.
This person on wanting them to do it, because that absolutely exists in this internet subculture. So that's where I think these accomplices came from, and that's what ultimately needs to be shut down.
Got to talk about something else with the shooting too. So there are certain angles of the shot where there is a belief that Charlie Kirk was shot in the chest.
Exactly,
but
we don't
ricocheted off of what people believe was.
We don't all need to have the same views, but we all have to be educated enough to understand that just because you don't agree with somebody's view, you don't have to put them down and make them feel terrible. And I'm telling you what it's like to grow up I was 18 in 1997 and it sucked. It sucked to grow up being gay. I've embraced it now 20 years later, but come on, it's not the most fun thing, and it doesn't feel good when you hear people calling you dyke and gay and fag, and you get used to it. All right.
Him wearing a bulletproof vest, and then it struck him in the neck.
Not
now, according to the BBC,
anything.
neither the FBI nor Turning Point USA, which Kirk co-founded, neither confirmed whether he was wearing a vest that day. It is interesting, though, because the Daily Mail spoke with Chris Herzog, who is apparently the owner of the Bodyguard Group of Beverly Hills, a private security firm. Herzog claims he spoke with Charlie Kirk during a rally at California State University several months before and warned him that he would be killed at one of these.
No, he's the president. He's not my president. I'm not on either side. I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump is the president. Yes. He's your president. He's my president. He's everybody's president. He's the president. There's nothing else I can do about it. It is what it is. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to follow the rules, and I'm going to get to the next election, and we're going to vote somebody else in. And if a dictatorship comes, then we're going to have to roll with that too. We got to make the best of it. But we can't go around shooting people. We can't go around harming people. We can't go around. We have to be more intelligent than that. I just don't get it. The Jules says guilty of crime. I have gay nieces, and it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy for me either, guys. Almost every time Thomas says he's my president, there you go. He's Thomas Karas's president. He's Clark's president. He's the president. Yes, I have respect for him as a president, and yes, I have a Trumpy bear, guys. Nobody should allow me to be online. Nobody should allow me to go on eBay with a credit card. And nobody should allow me to go to horror conventions, all right? And yeah, if a dictatorship comes and I'm not going along with it, America first, right? I'm going to go with the punches. We got to use our brains, not our guns, guys.
Rallies or events unless he took the proper precautions. Now, Herzog's colleague, Mark Wilson, also claims that he spoke with Kirk, telling the Daily Mail, we're huge Turning Point fans, being conservative. And we discussed the lack of security because he's up close with these nutcase kids and doesn't appear that he even wears a bulletproof vest.
See, and I'm not even saying that. Listen, I didn't say any of that. I don't want to call these kids nutcases, but you know what? A lot of them are. And this guy is perfect. Mark Wilson from the Daily Mail that says we are a huge Turning Point. Fans being conservatives, lack of security because he's up close with, and I wouldn't call them nutcase, but they're kids that are growing. And if they are transgender, you got to remember they're taking all kinds of freaking hormones, guys. You said Sky Valdez wrote a song about it. And hey, that's super okay. That's super okay to write a song about it. You just don't get your gun and your scope and engrave these things and set up an assassination.
Super sad what has happened. However, based on the reporting, based on the analysis, it does seem, by most indications, that he was shot directly in the neck. Actually, again, here is what Tracy Walder had to say about that.
Hey, whatever you
I
guys
think we
want.
want to think that this is some kind of a trained assassin. Maybe we see that in movies, and that's something that we want to
No.
see. But the reality is a 200-yard shot, which is about what
That's
this is. Again, I
nothing.
don't have the exact data, but a 200-yard shot.
Thank
I
you,
believe he was
Rebecca.
probably aiming for the head, came in a little bit low, but again, I
Yep.
don't know for sure. This is someone who is familiar, obviously, with weapons. There's no question. I don't think if you've never held a weapon before, you would be able to do that. But this is someone that probably had a scope attached, had been sitting there for a few
Absolutely.
minutes, got the target in their sights and got off that shot. So I think it's someone who is moderately to highly familiar with weapons, but not some kind of a trained assassin.
Absolutely. And I would love to break that down even more in another episode about how, when, what's the deal. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just a basic 200-yard is a pretty basic for a high-powered rifle with a freaking scope. These scopes are upwards in the thousands of dollars and easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm no trained assassin, but I do go to my gun ranges. I do go outdoor. I do my long ranges. I go indoor. I do my short ranges. And yeah, I can hit a body shot. Everybody should be able to. He wasn't on hormones. His partner was. Yes, but the audience that was out there that day, they were actually talking about trans and the gun community and how they should keep track of that. So those people are fueled by hormones and change and then feeling shamed.
Now, if you were talking about 600 yards or more, sure. But I don't feel that that's far enough for this to be some kind of a sharpshooter.
Okay, now I want to move on to this next theory. There is obviously a lot of political high tensions brewing with narratives being pushed that this was a left-wing extremist. I mean, right-wing influencer Mike Cernovich posted on social media that the shooter, quote, was an ideological foot soldier of far left-wing billionaires. Again, this is before the arrest of Robinson. And as reported by outlets like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, there was a preliminary and unverified report that the rifle found in a nearby wooded area, right by the crime scene, had been engraved with statements that, quote, express transgender and anti-fascist ideologies. In fact, here's what officials...
Right, and we're going to listen to that. They were talking about how many transgenders were mass shooters, word for word, which is going to be a fueled event. I'll tell you that right now. Even if you only had 10 transgenders in the whole crowd, you're talking to youth, all right? Yeah, I didn't grow up that way, but I'm like that now, all right? Now, dictatorship is what is possible to happen if Trump decides to stay in the office and it happens and nobody can get him out, or nobody can, you guys want that, and no more voting, no more democracy. That will happen, and we'll have to go with the punches. What are we going to do?
Officials, though, had to say about those apparent engravings during Friday's news conference.
The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
And by the way, during that news conference, it was also suggested that this suspect, Mr. Robinson, had said recently that Charlie Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University, that he didn't like him, that he didn't like the viewpoints that he had. This is something Robinson allegedly expressed.
Again, I think after the FBI combs through this case, they're going to determine that it was the Tyler Robinson, in fact, and maybe they'll charge other people if they knew about it. But I got to tell you, I don't think there's a big conspiracy theory coming along. I do not believe that.
And that he had told a family member that Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. Now, it went both ways. When you look online, there were also those, even before Robinson was arrested, who actually thought that the shooter could be a far right-wing extremist. So you saw these kinds of theories on both sides. The bottom line is we don't know yet the exact motive. However, killing a very political figure like Charlie Kirk at this speaking event, right as he's talking about these topics,
exactly,
it's something you got to be thinking about.
Yeah,
now,
is.
Kirk, as many of you might
Of
know, he was quite
course.
opinionated when it came to gun violence and the transgender community and held polarizing views. So is this something that may or may not have played a role here? We shall see as this develops. And now I have to talk about another theory, okay? Another theory that has been circulating is that a foreign nation may have been involved in Kirk's death. Again, this had been circulating before Robinson's arrest, but you do have to wonder what.
All right, so we're going to debunk this, and tomorrow he will be in court, and hopefully they continue to move it to an open forum where we can hear what happens. All right, yep, he did confess to his dad when he heard he confronted him, and his dad called in and reported to the authorities, which I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Okay, who wants to hear the chicken wing song in the middle of this? I don't want people to leave because I break this up and joke. I don't want people to think that. So that's my thing, is if we want to wait till after.
Whether or not people will believe that that is still true, despite the arrest. So Sean Hannity said on his Fox News show, quote, I have a source in the intelligence community, John, that said that there might be post-assassination pieces of a puzzle, that there might be a foreign component to it. And his guest, investigative journalist John Solomon, responded, yes, there is a group or two of interest in the Salt Lake City area they're looking at just because of certain recent activities overseas and certain intelligence shared by a foreign friendly from the United States. We don't really know what that means and why is this significant. To be clear, I'm not saying this in any way is true, but there's...
And, it's good to hear that sympathy for Tyler's parents, because other parents certainly don't get that. They do not get that. And I am so happy that Tyler's father turned him in so that they're not the target of what the Stearns are. I mean, I was on Turtle Island and I literally had somebody voting me off because they said that I had Deb call in. What? And now they're going to talk about these parents. What are they going to say? All right, I will take a quick break with this one and I'll put this on. Chicken wing. I'll even show you the chicken wing. All right. This is for you, Carrie, and everybody that wants a break. Chilling with my homies. Sounds like shit. Listen to that bass. That's awful bass.
Hey, yo, homie. Does this
Homie.
bass hit different?
Does this bass hit different, or is it just me?
It definitely hits different.
Watch.
I can't wait for the second bass drop.
Can't wait for the second bass drop. What is this? Chicken wing.
This Ricky Desktop guy is really up to something, huh?
It's the remix. All right, we played the remix for you. What is this, man?
What's going on?
That's great. I could keep listening to that. All right, let's finish this up. Wings. We need some chicken wings, y'all. Chicken wings.
Seems to be growing chatter of foreign involvement. Particularly, you are seeing this theory that of all countries, Israel was involved.
I know.
We are seeing this idea really percolating on X. But I will tell you, in my opinion, this doesn't seem to make sense at all. I'll explain why. But first, why are users seemingly suggesting?
Well, listen, at the very beginning of this, Thomas Karras, he did confess through. Now, they're saying that, and we'll hear it tomorrow, he did confess in his messages on Discord. And I have a feeling, again, that word confess. You weren't with us for the Emmanuel Haro case or any of these last cases where they confessed, all right? Confess is a loose word, but I do believe that his confession is alleged, and through his father and through the Discord messages and through that Lance Twig guy. All right. They probably say that because of Sabbath. All right, let's keep going.
Suggesting this. There is also a user on X who makes the claim that since President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu apparently posted about Charlie Kirk being shot, they allegedly posted it at the same time of 3:02 p.m. that this must.
And listen, tomorrow we're going to clear all that up. And you want to know why? We're going to clear it up because hopefully we hear it in an open court about what happened. And was the gun found disassembled or assembled? I absolutely believe it was found assembled. He did not disassemble it. You could see him jump off the roof with a towel in the shape of the GUN. All right. They can't. Yeah, they can. The rifle can't be, absolutely, it could be disassembled and assembled like that. All right. People that know GUNs, people that shoot GUNs, people have to clean them, which means we have to take them apart. All guns are, not all, but the guns I have are very easy to disassemble and then reassemble. That's how you get around not having the lower, but having the upper and buying the lower. And yeah, trust me, you can't clean it without taking it apart, and you have to. So yeah, it's very easy, guys. I can take mine apart very quickly. All right.
Mean it's coordinated. And then there are older clips of Charlie Kirk that have started to surface online. Like there is one of Kirk apparently recently on Megyn Kelly's program where he says, quote, I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government about backlash than actual Israelis do. And that's really, really weird. There's another clip where Kirk was on Ben Shapiro's show, who, by the way, is Jewish, a staunch supporter of Israel.
Charlie, we push back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years.
Obviously, this is in regards to Israel's war in Gaza against Hamas and the purported significant loss of Palestinian lives. But Kirk also had gone on Patrick Bet-David's podcast and spoke about the context of the October 7th attack on Israel that started this whole conflict.
All right, here you guys go. Help debunk the whole Israel situation. And what does that have to do with this?
Saying, how could this happen in a fortified country like this? Quote, I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun. That's an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is so surveilled. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu. That's all gone. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go as far as to say Netanyahu knew there was intelligence, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? Now, here's the problem with this theory, in my opinion. Charlie Kirk, and this is well documented, went on record publicly, was a devout supporter of Israel and the Jewish people. And it is well documented, particularly in his debates that he had in public forums. Fox News, they dedicated a whole segment to it. And in it, they played different clips of Charlie Kirk. In one, he talked about how Israel changed his life and that he was celebrated as a Christian over there. He said the nation of Israel actually has a place in God's plan for us on this planet. He said there is something special about Israel and said, I think we have a moral commitment to that land. And then while debating someone about the actions of Israel, right, in their war against Hamas, you had this person who criticized the Israeli government, called it evil. Charlie Kirk fought back, saying it's also a moral truth that the war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Israel, at its holiest day of the calendar year, besides Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, Simchat Torah, the 50-year anniversary of the 6-day war on Shabbat, Hamas invaded Israel, decided to go recklessly to music concerts, homes, to kibbutzes, and taking 200-plus hostages. They knew what they were doing. When the IDF does something right, they get no credit. When they do life-saving surgeries of a Gaza...
Is this clearing anything up for you guys that are... I didn't even realize that had anything to do with this, but I could see where people are grabbing everything they can and bringing it. I can't keep up with chat because I'm trying to... they said today DNA was on the screwdriver from the roof. And there you go. KPM, thank you for saying that, because that screwdriver on the roof was more than likely the screwdriver that assembled his rifle. All right. So they absolutely did. And yes, I absolutely am going to cover the Ukrainian girl. I already started covering that. All right. No, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Nikki, you came here late. Chief Rocka, how you doing? Smiley, you cannot control how other people think or say. You can only control how you react. That's life. Everyone's so reactive to words, it's pathetic. I agree with that, Smiley. If that were the case, I would not like Charlie Kirk, because everything that I've heard about him thus far was him talking about same-sex marriages aren't recognized in the eyes of God, and trans and LGBT, everything against that. But I could take that and say, okay, I can understand that. Again, how do you walk in the police station, turn yourself in without confessing? That's easy, Thomas. They do that all the time. Tomorrow, when he goes into court, if we see him plead not guilty, it's a strategy. That's all. Trump is not against gays. He held a gay wedding. And it doesn't mean that he has to be against gays. It just means that he doesn't condone that, and it doesn't align with his spiritual or religious beliefs. That's what that means. You can wordsmith stuff all you want.
Common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. Oh, by the way, there's also this one too. This was, by the way, really reported by the New Republic, popped up on X a lot. The theory, the conspiracy theory, that President Trump was behind what happened to Charlie Kirk.
My
Have you heard this one? The idea being that this was a way to distract from the Epstein files saga and the backlash that his administration has received, including the criticism that there was a cover-up, right? We've covered the Epstein case, the Epstein saga a lot here on Sidebar, by the way. But I mean, just look at this post from Morgan J. Freeman, an apparent filmmaker who has over 470,000 followers on X. He said, how do we know Trump didn't order Kirk's assassination as a distraction from Epstein and a tactic to start the civil unrest he needs to declare martial law and delay the 2026 midterms? That post received more than 2.4 million views and 60,000 likes.
Here's the thing. Let me just, Thunder Maiden, his father did turn him in, and everybody, so thus far, has been cooperating with police and FBI against Tyler Robinson. Everybody that they have approached thus far has said, yes, it was Tyler that did it. Here are the messages. This is what he said. He wrote a letter to us so after he gets arrested. I mean, it's been very clear about this, if you're following the case.
And that makes me think about something else. I want to highlight something as we talk about theories and particularly social media. As you know, a theory can spread like wildfire online. You know, it was reported on X. People were throwing out specific names or identities of the potential shooter before the arrest of Robinson. Reuters reported that there was at least one video posted after the Kirk shooting, falsely identifying a man who was 700 miles away as being the suspect. That was actually an arrest video from June, all the way out in California, apparently. There was another of a video of a man running away, suggesting that was Kirk's shooter, but that was from a shooting in Reno, Nevada back in July. The New York Times reported that there were those online who attributed the shooting to a transgender woman. One I have to highlight in particular, and this was focused upon by the New York Times as well. Do you remember when police initially detained an older man at the event, like immediately? The immediate reaction was this was the shooter because there were reports that he had actually said that he did the shooting. Turns out, that was the allegation. Turns out, according to reporting from the Salt Lake Tribune, that was 71-year-old George Zinn, who law enforcement indicated they took into custody on suspicion of obstruction of justice. He was released, ruled out as being the suspect, ruled out as being the shooter. However, what happened? According to the New York Times, you
guys remember this? You guys see what's happening here? How these things are rolling out and how they continue to? Again, I know we've been here for almost 2 hours and about 15 minutes. I appreciate you guys. I can probably go do this for like 5 hours, but I want you to understand where we are, how you could be in the middle, and how we need to address this and look at better security. If we're going to be having more of these things and trying to convert people, so to speak, in these debates, we gotta have better security. This is going to continue to happen, guys.
And the Times reported that the speculation may have started through an account called Fox 11 Reno that is actually not a real broadcast affiliate in Nevada. It's rather a fictitious account. By the way, remember I talked about other countries? Utah Governor Spencer Cox said one of the things that is amplifying misinformation are foreign bots from China and Russia.
Interesting, huh? You guys be careful when you're looking up the looking this case up because there is a lot of news that they throw in there, and they try to market it as that. Now, let me just take a look. There's a Texas student here. Texas student taunts mourners. There's a lot of people that are doing that. I want to show you.
Your homie dead. Your homie dead. He got shot in the head. Your homie dead. Yep, homie dead.
Evil is real, people, and it kind of looks like that.
Yep. And so many people, big and small, have been arrested for mocking Charlie Kirk's death, guys. All right. It's people everywhere, from news stations to CEOs to people that are in school. And Sublime, it's interesting because you say Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, big thing is that they are only two genders. I never heard them talk about anti-gay, but listen here, do me a favor, and I don't know if you're like that or you have anybody that likes to debate or speak, go in front of somebody, especially males. I gotta tell you, males have a harder time. This is, in my opinion, gay males have a much harder time being accepted than gay females. All right. So try going in front of a bunch of gay males and telling them, or a bunch of males that are transitioning, and tell them there are only two genders, and see how they take it. Yeah, she did get arrested. That's what I'm showing you guys, right? He wants policies influence. Oh, let me play this while you finish this, and then not waiting. Yeah, right. No. Look at, they're showing the people that are doing that. Cody Campbell, chairman of the university board, Regents, also posted on X with a message denouncing Booker's behavior. I mean, there so many people are coming out. People are celebrating, guys, and it's disgusting. Yeah, she was a student there. I mean, yeah, I can't believe people are celebrating this, guys, but you gotta admit, while they're celebrating this is very similar to Luigi Mangione and that whole thing. It's literally freedom of speech and expression. And I started off the show, Thomas, saying I do not want my freedom of speech, of freedom of expression, right to bear arms. I want none of those things to be taken away from me. But I am showing you that there are people that want to do that. They want to harm people. They do have malicious intentions. And yes, there should be more gun control where needed. All right. So hashtag I am Charlie Clerk. If you guys stand for being able to have a freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and you're able to stand up and debate somebody without using violence, then hashtag I am Charlie Clerk. And I want you guys to stay focused on Tyler Robinson. Tomorrow will be court. Watch the court hearings and find out if he's going to plead not guilty. All right. I'm sure that that's going to happen. I'm sure the strategy is going to be similar to that of Luigi Mangione's. However, this guy is probably going to have a public defender, guys. All right. He's going to have a public defender, and people are going to either be praising Tyler Robinson, or they're going to be pissed. You guys just, wherever you stand, hey, that's on you. As long as you don't stand for violence and you're able to debate properly. Now, Thomas says now they can celebrate the death of this guy, and we as normal humans can see that them as insane, but to back all the firings and cancellations, this is not American. I agree. Absolutely, this is not American. This is not how we do. This is not how we run our lives, and this is not the hate. Yeah, spread love, not hate. I have a social media clause with my job. Most jobs do, right? As they should. Social anthem. All right, they always plead not guilty, and that is a very it's a very good strategy to a defense that you're gonna you don't have, especially when you don't have much of a defense. You better say not guilty and just shut your mouth all the way through. I don't think that's gonna happen. Why would I don't think I think he'll have a public defender, because I haven't heard of them hiring an attorney, and I don't think that they have money to do that. Does anyone know different? Because Luigi Mangione, immediately when he got arrested, they retained an attorney, and we heard all about it. Now, Van Dyke Visuals, has anybody heard about this guy retaining a lawyer? And does his family members have money? My glasses fell off. I don't know. That's why. 6-bedroom home looks nice. Yeah, but still, an attorney for a case like this is going to cost probably a good upward of $1 million to take this all the way through the court system. I don't know. I'm going to assume right now that he has a public defender. Him being middle class and being in college, and his parents still, he's only 22. They can still be responsible for him in a way. I don't know. I think he's going to have a public defender. I don't think his dad got a reward. I don't think any of that happened. We're going to find out more. Yeah, thank you. It's well over $1 million case, and I haven't seen anything about an attorney. Now, well off is middle class, and in America, a case of this magnitude is well over $1 million. Look at Karen Reed. Karen Reed spent millions of dollars. This case can be dragged in and out to court for years. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow he will be in court, and we'll find out more, maybe. Or they may just shut the hell up and not say anything. The problem with companies, debates, they are professional debaters, 24 hours a day, 10 years studying. Exactly. Thank you. Professional debaters, they put them into a crowd with the youth, and the youth don't stand a chance. They're really there to try to change your position. That's the whole thing. It's like when you're campaigning, when Trump is campaigning, when Biden's campaigning, when Kamala's campaigning, they're there to change your mind. Or if you're not changing your mind and you're already supporting, that's what they're there for. And these people are professionals. When I say these people, this guy, this man, Charlie Kirk, was a professional debater. These youth didn't stand a chance. All right. I'll tell you that. Yes, they just came in, and they just said either today or last night that these will be federal charges. The FBI has stepped in. The left does the same via teachers, professors. Agreed. I won't disagree. Not informed about their pretentious group that thinks religious forgiveness can be forced through stalking and framing. He's always supposed to be presumed innocent. Yeah, right. It's the only difference is there too much evidence at this point, and too many. I keep saying Kirk. I keep trying Charlie Kirk. It's just I've been talking for too long, Clark. That's my deal. I don't think he has a lawyer. I don't think there are any lawyers. All right, guys, the campaign is only to raise money. You already know no, that's not now, Thomas, that is the point of campaigning. But I'll tell you right now, when they campaign and they have these debates that are rightfully so, they're targeting the youth at this point, and they're targeting the youth to get them to take a position. Some people don't take a position, and when they get to the campaign, they can change their position, literally. I've seen it happen over and over again. So Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. All right. He didn't even go to college either. Last name's Kirk. Yeah, it's Charlie Kirk, but I'm getting tongue tied. That's all. All right. Happy put I'm happy you're able to have your puppies, your own business, California, all have pet stores. Yeah, you are right. Literally. Okay. July says literally could have been prevented if they really thought death and personal attacks were wrong and done something about it when it was happening from the opposition from his group or yeah, they could have. And that's what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, the people that fund the debates are the people backing them. I agree. However, debates are there to get people to, in my opinion, this is just my opinion of what they use these debates for. And I've seen it. So I get it. The debates are backed by the people. The debates are funded by the people that back them. I get it. Absolutely. All right, guys. We've been on here for a really long time. I appreciate all that you guys have, because all the donors are right there with Israel. Well, okay. I'm not going to go that far with this. I can't wait to hear more tomorrow. All right. You guys do me a favor. You might not like the topic, but hit that like button. If you're new here, please hit the notification bell. If you have the means to get yourself a membership, please do. And thank you for saying that. His dad didn't want the reward. I'm going to find out more about all this stuff. All right. But on the way out, I'm going to play Chicken Wing for you. And I'm going to play the remix. All right. It's real, y'all. It's a real remix. All right. Here it goes. This is y'all's favorite. It's a Chicken Wing remix. Look at this. Look, I'm wearing a chicken wing. That's my bling. My chicken wing. Chilling with my homies. That's your outro, guys. Chilling with my homies. That's the outro. Come on. Oh, we can listen to this. This is our jam. Yeah, the necklace though. Hey, Carrie got me this necklace though. It's a freaking chicken wing, guys. Real talk. You never heard this before? Hey, that's a remix. You guys don't like the remix? You guys want the original version? All right, we got so many versions of this. I was just trying to, who doesn't like it? Look, chicken wing song. Chicken wing, chicken wing, chicken wing. All right. Where's my chicken? I need to have I need to program it on my I have one of those little, what do they call? I don't even know what they're called. The chicken wing, the trap mix. Let's listen. All right, I give up on it. All right, guys, you have a good night. Watch out for court tomorrow. Charlie Robinson, and don't let this consume you too much. Master debaters, get on out of here. Love you guys. I'm gonna start putting that on my outro. We'll talk about some serious case and then throw chicken wing on. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Peace out. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then it's Turtle Island, guys. Have a good night. Love you. Mwah.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?